Today we are going to learn what are the different types of asexual reproduction in detail. Just now you have seen total 5: binary fission or multiple fission, budding, regeneration, fragmentation, and spore formation. Let us move on to that now. Here we go. Yes, binary fission. Binary fission is a form of asexual reproduction in which an organism divides into two equal halves, resulting in the same copy of their genetic material. They carry the same copy of the genetic material, and resulting in two daughter organism. Suppose if I talk about, I have taken the example of amoeba here. Which organisms undergo the process of binary fission? Here I can say amoeba, bacteria, paramecium, euglena, and many such unicellular organisms undergo the process of binary fission. I repeat, binary fission is a form of asexual reproduction. One organism is involved here. I have taken the example of amoeba. Amoeba, what happens during favorable conditions? When the conditions become favorable, they undergo the process of reproduction, where the cytoplasm and nucleus are playing a very important role. The cytoplasm, from the middle of the body, constriction appears. The nucleus, protrudes, enlarges, and cytoplasm also move towards the one pole and the other pole, and nucleus also move, and from the middle of the body constriction appears, and the animal is divided into two different organism or two different cell. As amoeba is a unicellular, it is made up of single cell. So if I say that the organism is dividing into two daughter organism or two daughter cells, both are correct, as it is only just made up of single cell. So when I'm teaching about this binary fission, do you know in our body also, when we are working, one cell is working for you. After that cell work, it becomes old, it should be discarded, it should be replaced with the new cells. There, how the old cells are replacing by the new cells? Again by the same process, but we don't call it as binary fission. It resembles binary fission. We call that process as mitosis. Inshallah, in the next class, in detail, we are going to mitosis and meiosis. Generally, people think it is very tough subject and all, but inshallah, you will learn it in a very easy way. What is multiple fission? Even I told you that multiple fission. Sometimes what happens, same organism, in spite of dividing into two equal half, it can divide into many smaller. Yeah, the nucleus can be split not into two regions, but it can split into 8 regions, 6 regions. Similarly, where the genetic material is copying not into two equal half, but into many smaller fragments, so each one grow into an new individual. That fission is called as multiple fission. It is similar to binary fission. Here nucleus is dividing into two equal half, resulting in the formation of two organisms. There the nucleus divides, further divides into many smaller fragments. Each can reproduce into a new organism called as multiple fission. And I said you, after binary fission, yeah, budding. Budding is also the process of asexual reproduction. What is budding? Where you can see this budding? Budding is also an asexual type of reproduction, mostly seen in yeast Hydra. So the picture you are seeing here is the picture of Hydra. So here Hydra also undergo the process of, what happens here? In which the organism develops a small bud or a small outgrowth on the body. The organism, suppose if this is yeast also develop a small outgrowth on the body, as Hydra is also developing a small outgrowth. So this outgrowth can also be called as bud. This outgrowth can also be called as bud. Then what happens? Then this bud, due to cell division and all, it increases in size. It increases in size. Yeah, slowly the nucleus will be transported and resulting in one new organism. And here also the bud protrudes and develops tentacles in Hydra, and these tentacles, now you can see complete a small baby Hydra is formed. When conditions become favorable, the Hydra detaches from the parent. Yeah, this is the parent Hydra and this is the offspring or the newly formed Hydra. So here the offspring detach from the parent and grow as an individual life, or sometimes they attach and grow in colonies. Even in yeast also you can see large number of birds formed on it. Yeast does not develop only one. On one parent yeast, you can see many birds are formed and they live in colonies. So this type of reproduction is called as budding, and budding mostly seen in Hydra, yeast. Okay, this. Now next we will move on to fragmentation. What is fragmentation? And what do you mean by algae? Fungi, you all know what is fungi, white color, cottony appearance. What we call it as bunj in our language. And algae is nothing but we call it as the green color layer that forms after rain or during winter season and all on the walls you can see, or even in any water tanker and all under the area where you can see, or floating on the surface. All this greenish color layer is nothing but the algae. What we call it as kanjal in our Urdu language. So fragmentation occurs mostly in algae and also in fungi. So algae, all types of algae and all types of fungi undergo the process of reproduction called as fragmentation. Maybe you have understood what is fragmentation. Fragment means, small bits or fragments, divisions. Yes, fragmentation is nothing but the organism can be divided into many smaller fragments. Each fragment again develops into a new individual, and new individual. This type of reproduction is called as fragmentation. Suppose if I draw, fungi. Okay, I'm drawing the rhizopus. Rhizopus is the example of the fungi. So this is rhizopus. These are hyphae, rhizoids. Okay, and here it is said that if fungi is divided, small portions, all these have divided. Each portion will develop into a new fungi. Same even in Spirogyra. This is one of the algae. The name of this algae is Spirogyra. Even Spirogyra is an algae. Each Spirogyra, if cut into small fragments, small pieces, each piece have the ability to divide into a complete organism. This type of reproduction is also known as fragmentation, and it is a asexual reproduction. Why? Only one organism is involved, which is dividing into small pieces. Each piece is having the ability to grow. Even starfish also can grow that way. We all know starfish, which is star shaped. Suppose if this arm is cut down, this arm is cut down, each arm can develop into a complete starfish. So this is the example of different types of fragmentation seen in algae, fungi, and some other organisms like planaria. This is planaria. What are planarians? Planarians are flatworms. They belongs to Platyhelminthes. They belongs to phylum Platyhelminthes. So planaria also undergo the process of fragmentation.